All right, what's going on, y'all? It's Jesse from the John Yacht. So real quick today, we're going to talk about how to clean and maintain the Daiwa BG spinning reel. This is a very commonly used reel in the fresh and saltwater world, but like any reel, it needs some maintenance. So why would you be doing maintenance? So first off, you're going to be doing some maintenance, first off as a preventative, to prevent your reel from clamming up or getting some corrosion built up. Also, if you have maybe you're starting to notice it's a little bit tough on the spin, not quite like it was when you first bought it, or maybe you used it in accidentally dipped it in the salt water or used it on the beach one day, it's going to be a good time for you to clean your reel. So this is going to make your reel last a lot longer, make your internal components last a lot longer, and make your reel overall more dependent. So what you'll need, what I use this oil from Dig-In Reel. It's one of my favorite reel oils. I've used it for quite some time. It lubricates well and tends to, for me in the saltwater environment, really keep the product clean and free of corrosion over time. So I'll provide a link for this in the bottom. Again, it's from Dig-In Reel Company. Dig-In Reel Oil. The other things, I'll use a scribe. With this scribe tool, if I see a rock or a piece of sand in there, it gives me the ability to dig it out. Also, I use a little screwdriver. This screwdriver, there's obviously some screw heads on here. If you need to break them loose, that's going to be there for you. A rag. Any excessive oil that you're going to build or leave on your reel, think of that oil as a fly trap almost. So that excessive oil will be there on your reel to catch dirt, catch sand, whatever you're in. So wipe off the excessive oil. And lastly, we'll get to this in a second, but I like to have a rubber band, and I'll show you why in just a second. So let's break this reel down. First, we're going to take the spool off. So undo your levers, your drag system at the top, and pull your spool head off. Pull your cap off, and inside there you'll see some grease. What you'll want to do, wipe that excess off. You might have some sand in there. Take your Dig-In Reel oil and just put a drop on each side and let that kind of work in there. And while that's working in there, flip it over and you'll have a little spool on the inside. What you'll want to do is just take your oil, if there's no corrosion built up on it, let that disperse into that little spring in there. And for your spool, that's the easiest part for your spool. Now here's where you'll start to get some resistance over time with your reel. So your bail's spinning around and there's a shaft going up and down. So spin your reel so that the shaft is all the way up. And when it's all the way up, you'll start to see some grease build up, maybe different kinds of debris that you've captured. Wipe all that off. And here are the moving parts where you're going to want to grease. So at the top, your threads, those are important to keep clean because that's what your drag is pulling from. So you want those clean, and you want your shaft clean and oiled too. So let gravity do its thing. Let it go down the shaft after you've lubed it, and then work that shaft up and down a few times. All right. And that's going to distribute it down inside there, just where you want it to be. And almost instantly from right there. This is why I love this reel oil. You'll notice almost instantly a change in your reel. So from there, you'll see it start to disperse over the edge. You're going to wipe that off. All right. Move on from there down to your lever action. Now, whether you have it on the left or right hand side, you're going to want to take your cap off. All right. Once your cap's off, go ahead and loosen your handle. And inside your handle, you'll have a couple moving parts that you'll need to take care of. You'll have some threads inside here. You'll want to lube up. these threads and stuff like that, it's not something I do every single time, but if you don't do it every once in a while, maybe every third or second time, these will definitely seize on there. And these caps, I'm sure y'all have seen, these will get seized on as well. So inside there you'll have some threads as well. Even though these are plastic, I still like to lube them, because salt water, if you're using these in a saltwater environment, salt water, it gums up everything. It may not corrode it, but it will definitely gum it up. So from there, inside you're gonna have bearings on each side. I'm gonna take my oil, and on the outside here of this bearing, I'm just gonna put a drop in there. All right, I'm gonna let gravity do its thing, and I'm gonna flip over. And again, I'm gonna do the same thing. You can see the bearing down in there. I'm gonna put one drop down in there, and then again, let gravity do its thing. So from there, that's virtually done. You have your line indicator switch here at the front. If you start to notice that gumming up, what I would do, I don't ever even switch that around, but if you were to, I would just take your oil and put a drop in there, wipe down your excessive oil from there. So now that you have your reel and your shaft done, the most important part of your reel is your bail. So this is the most commonly used portion of your reel, minus your actual handle portion. So where's the moving parts? Each side, you're going to have a screw that's going to screw into the main part of the frame. So I like to hold mine up like so, and I'll put one drop here at the top and one drop here at the top. I just did 2 drops, and gravity is going to start to pull that down between those 2 bodies there, and then I'm just going to work it in. All right, and again, that excess, what I'll do here on the larger reels, this is a 2500. These reels, obviously the larger they are, they might have a little bit of an issue. I'll pull it upside down, and then I'll hit the bottom side of it and let gravity do its thing there again, and then I'll let that work in. Alright, so on the larger reels you may have to flip it upside down and do the other side just in case, just because the reel is just larger. And then last step I like to do, so your roller bearing right here, where your line is going to go through, right? As you're reeling your reel in, or so you have a fish on board, there's going to be a lot of tension on here. Whether you realize it or not, this thing spins along with your line. And if this is seized up, what that does is your line is just going to roll along there, eventually breaking down and weakening your line. So this portion right here, what I like to do for this little bearing here, or this portion, I'll put the oil in on the inside bearing there, let gravity do its thing, and I will floss this like a tooth. And you can feel and see that bearing moving on the inside there. Alright, that's a very important part to keep your line in good condition. Otherwise it's just rolling along a steady bearing, and then it's weakening itself. So from there you're done cleaning your reel. One last step, I'll put it all together, tighten your drag down a little bit. Once that's on, I'll go through with my rag, again, wiping off the excess oil. Alright. And that is the Daiwa BG maintenance step, or maintenance process, for how I keep them in good working condition. For this reel here, this one has lasted me 4 or 5 seasons because of the amount of maintenance that I do on it. It definitely keeps them clean, and it definitely keeps them functional. And there's nothing more annoying, I'm sure y'all know, using a reel that's starting to get a little bit worn or tough to reel. Other than that, again, I'll have a link down in the bottom here for this dig-in reel oil. I've used it for a while. It's one of the best I've found. The consistency and the viscosity of the oil seems to hold up really well. So, yeah, other than that, I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll, if you want other reels or recommendations or things you'd like to see, let me know in the comments, and we'll go from there. All right, I appreciate y'all.